Hey, Water Tucky 1620 here. I'm working on my secondary clutch from my 2014 MXZ Skidoo. It's in Doo clutch. 2014s I know are different. I was told that I think there's only one that fits for this design machine because it's the 800R, it's not the 850. So, of course, I had rollers go. Obviously, that's the main cause for these is the rollers are gone, and the rollers end up really bad. See, this is a used one right here, which is still good, but it's a used one compared to a new one. Here's a new one, used, new. Okay. Now I want to show you old. Normally that's what happens. I've seen this in a lot of videos I find. I've been watching some of these videos on how to take it apart and everything. I did some of it right, okay? I did some of it wrong. I'll admit that, okay? But I got the job completed to take it apart. Of course, right now what I have is I have a punch in the hole with a screw. Because see, what I did, I was a dumbass. I took them out. I got lucky. I didn't ruin the threads. I got real lucky because I actually kind of saved the bolts a little, so I'm smart enough to do that, you know. Thank God for taps and dies. So the die, obviously, I took on and I kind of cleaned the threads up is what I did. So right now I'm setting it back in there because I want to make sure when I put it back in, I know that's the position it needs to be. When I put the pin in, you see here's the new pin. And I'm trying to get you to, this is what's left of the old pin. See? Yeah. So, and you know, here's your bolt. As you can see, there's a hole, obviously. I got an eye on you now. See? Anyways. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making sure I've got it right. I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna take a mark, Sharpie, sign an autograph. Hello. I know I'm doing this fucked up, or funky. Yeah, fucked up too. It's funky. And as you can hear, my neighbor next door is blowing leaves. That's because we have no snow on the ground here in Michigan. We're completely, well, there's snow piles here. We do have snow piles going on, but all right, I got a mark on it. I wasn't sure. It's gold. I don't have black iron. No, I'm not being discriminative. It's just, that's the color I got. So, sorry, I know that was a low blow and a low joke. I should have said that, sorry. Not trying to offend anybody, because trust me, I love everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do, where you live, whatever. Except for, you know, I know the stuff that's going on in Minnesota is not good stuff. It makes a lot of people look real bad and stupid. So anyways, enough about that. So I made the mark. I made sure that one's there. That's what I'm doing. I was just making sure that I'm clear. I'm going to come over, I'm going to repeat and do the same thing on the other side. This washer, they call it a washer. I'd call it a washer. Actually, I took it out. I took it out by when I had this upside down. Here, I'll show you. Let me take this out now that I marked it. And taking it out. And as you can tell, I kind of cleaned up the bolts a little so that way the rollers will roll around more, because there was a bunch of, you know, good old belt dust. So what I did, turn it around, I'm going to show you, I can show you the holes. See, where'd it go, where'd it go? That hole right here. That little hole is where the pin would go in. So what I did is I put my punch, there's one hole here, and there's another hole over on the other side, as you can see it, okay? You see the one's here, the other one is right here, okay? And so what I did is I just kind of tapped on it real nice, and it popped right up. That way I could continue to get the rest of the pin out of the hole, so that way when I go put this back together, I can put it back together correctly. So, anyhow, I just wanted to show you all what I was doing. Let you know that I've got to replace the bearing. I took it off, as you can tell. Yes, nice eerie sound, scratch, chalkboard. So I gotta find one of these, so I gotta send out again. So I gotta buy things, you know. There are things here that I use that I wouldn't mind getting a little handout for, and I could say a name or two, you know. But spending money, you know, this was like what, 130 bucks, 140, no, yeah, 140 bucks for that. Then I got another part that I had to buy. This piece here, this takes and holds the clutch so you can take it apart, so you can take the helix off. And then you have the other part that goes to the other side of the jack shaft, to this side, where you have the gear inside the chain case. Here, let me look you up there. There you go, this. Because you have, this is, you know, this is gear to milled, it's cut to fit your gear. And you have a small gear sitting on top of that. And you have a tool that you have to insert to hold everything together so this can come out. If you don't do that, you're in trouble. Then you'll have to take your chain case all apart, and you don't want to do that either. So that's why some of these tools, I said, screw it, I'll go spend the damn money. At least I can take it apart. Now I took it apart. Now I have new rollers. I have a new pin, pins to put in. I can put it back apart. During this time, while I have this out too, I have taken the spark plugs out. I got to those. Actually, how I did this is I removed the CDI boxes, and I know people are going to say, what? Why'd you do that? Well, it was easy. It made it easier to get to the spark plugs. Because on this thing, you really can't just, like the old days, y'all, where you just pop the old hood right up, you know, you can get right to the plugs. Not on these motherfuckers. You know, thank you, engineers. Thank you for your great designs on spark plug removals, even just for us lowly old snowmobile enthusiasts. You know, we don't know what the hell we're doing. We're just backyard country fucks, you know. We just like ride our snowmobile. You know, come on, engineers, think. Common sense, people. You stop that book shit. Get that book shit out of your fucking head. It's good, but you need some sense. You need these on this. Engineers, hands on it. You need to be touching it, not drawing it and thinking of it and going, oh, this will work. Y'all learned from this design. You went to another design, but you didn't even really do anything. Because I've seen it on the new ones. So, you know, engineers, think about that. I'm just telling you, common sense. All I'm trying to say is it's tough to do things when things are supposed to be easy. See, I had to move, as you can tell, I removed the spark plug. I moved over one of those CDI boxes are dropped, actually. I got it moved over. But I got the plugs off. But like I said, it was a pain in the ass. It's not easy to do. You know? So, working on a newer sled, yeah, it's like working on a new car. They want you to take it in. Take it in and pay the $160 an hour, right, for the mechanic. To do what? This is what the mechanic would do. Yeah, I think that I'll get to it. You know? I guarantee they are, because they're looking at it and going, why in the hell is this designed like this? There ought to be a better way to... I know the mid-engine mount thing, I know you can't do... I get it. But there's got to be a better way, an angle, some different angle of attack on that motor. So you can get in there and physically get the plugs out. Not have to remove jack shafts and air boxes and shit. Maybe air boxes, I understand that. Okay, maybe that, I'll give you that. That's it. You know, even if it was just to remove and it was behind the air boxes where you could just get it. So that's why I see the angle of attack of the motor. You guys have got it, you don't have it, you should have it more like this. More, I don't know, a 40, not even, probably bigger than a 45. Yeah, almost laying down, maybe. No, that would be impossible. They'd get plugs then. Hell, damn Evernudes are tough enough to change a plug on, let alone these. So, anyways, maybe that's who designed it. Maybe the guy that was at Evinrude is at Skidoo. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just being a smart ass. I'm just being a jerk. I'm not just telling it like it is, though, too. Because I know there are people out there that feel the same frustrations and go, hey, why can't it just be like this? It would make it so much easier, right? Yeah, it would make it so much more convenient. Especially if you're out trail riding on these things and you have something like that go wrong and you're like, hey, I need to change my plugs. Well, guess what? We're on the side of the trail for a fucking hour, probably longer, to change spark plugs? Are you kidding me? And I guarantee there's probably people out there that had that happen this winter so far. If that's happened to you, I feel sorry for you. I'd be a real pissed off owner, I know that. I'd be wanting to tell Skidoo, hey, you can't continue with the design even into this year, even when I seen what they got this year. And doesn't look like much of a change, maybe a little bit. Cosmetically wise, yeah, I see it. But interior in the engine and the engine bay and everything like that, I see the same. So, if y'all want to be in the snowmobile business, then you got to start listening to your people, the people that ride. If engineers aren't riding these things, then they don't know what is really going on. So, if you're any design person, engineer, I don't care. Take your moment and time, get on a snowmobile, ride it, learn what it does. And there you can go, wow, all right, I can do this. If I make it this way, maybe, see what my point is? It's a little common sense. You're an engineer, you got money, buy a fucking sled. You don't have to buy a new one. Just go out and find a good old greasy triple trail arm sled. Ride one of those and get your idea from that. Maybe add it to it. Like I've seen people out there wanting to see the old models back, like good old Scorpion. I had a Scorpion. I had a good old Super Stinger 440. 72, man. She ran good until she didn't. Good old Rockwells and J-Lo's and wall barrel carburetors. Wall barrel, now they're real barrel carburetors. You know, Kawasaki, I'd love to see Kawasaki come back. I've even seen a design where somebody threw up a Mercury snow twister on a new sled design. I thought that was freaking awesome. That was cool. So, you know, people are out there thinking about this. So I think people should move forward on that. Why not get those old sled names back out there? Why not do it? I know some of these companies own the rights to some of these other old sled companies. You know, you really want to make snowmobile fun, throw it out there. Do what NASCAR is going to do. They're going to change everything to make it good again. It's the same with the snowmobiling. You got to make it good again. Make it entertaining for the people. You know, this age group coming up right now, these people aren't entertained about a lot of things, you know. The only thing they're really entertained about is how is this country going to the fucking poorhouse or some shit like that, or they're never going to have money. Oh. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. They're not paying attention to the snowmobiling. They're not paying attention to NASCAR. If they are, then they're sports people. That's the only reason why. Other than that, if you're not a sports person at this type, and I see in this generation, I'm a Generation X person, I guess. That's why I'm speaking this way, because I have that right to say now that, hey, I saw this when I grew up. Hey, when I was growing up, I thought a lot of things, but I didn't think about, I really never thought about the politics, you know? I really never thought about any of that bullshit. Never. Never was a thought. I don't know why. I guess because we didn't, as kids, we didn't have that to be thrown in our face. What we had was, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have a computer. We didn't have anything sitting in front of us. No, we had outside. So we had snowmobiles as kids. Some of us were lucky. Hell, I had to earn mine. I didn't get mine given to me. I bought mine. I had a paper route. Yeah, paper route, people. Delivering newspapers. Which now, you know, newspapers are gone because what do we have? We have it all. Now it's available whenever you want it. So, you know, yeah. Passing out newspapers got me my first snowmobile, and it was a Skidoo on the old 1-lunger 250. Yep. Mom said, well, if you're going to get a snowmobile, you can't get anything bigger than this. Okay, fine, fuck it. At least I got one, right? Damn thing ran every time. 1-2 tugs, off she went to the races. She ran well. I got rid of her. That's when I bought my Scorpion. And I was happy with my Scorpion. But then, you know, I had friends and we all had different sleds. We all swapped sleds. We all did stupid shit out on the lake with them. Hell, I had a friend that would tie his ski rope and take his downhill skis when he'd go skiing around the lake on the, you know. So, yeah, it was awesome. You know, those things like that's just what we did, man. We didn't worry about being on the phone or looking at what the fuck is going on in the world. You know, the reason you really found that out is by looking at the newspaper or turning on the 6 o'clock news. That's it. Simple. Nothing hard, not too complex. You know, and so, anyways, I know I'm getting off the subject again. I'm not keeping on my niche. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, y'all, I want to say thank you again to everybody. You know, thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. You know, don't worry. Don't be afraid to hit that button. Click on it. You know, if you like, click on that like. watch a little bit. Listen to what I have to say sometimes. Sometimes I have a message. Maybe it's one you want. Maybe you don't want to hear it. Maybe you don't give a shit. That's just fine too. Because you know me, you can hear me and my attitude. If you do, you do. You don't, you don't. Is it my loss? Well, maybe, but oh well. I gain something later on. Don't worry about it. See, so I don't lose sleep over it either. The only reason I lose sleep is because my back kills me, and I was just sick, so that was another reason. So, you know, anyways, sleep is sleep. Don't worry about that. But just, like I said, I want to say thank you all again. And we'll get back to this and do some more videoing. And do some, I don't know. It's a Friday night, who knows? I'll just probably sit around and do nothing really after this. So I've had a big long day anyways, as it is. And yeah, I'm ready to take it easy. So y'all just take it easy.